In 1910, it was the centenary of the independence of Argentina, and many countries gifted monuments. Spain gave a statue representing the many regions of Argentina. France gave them this, a representation that France and Argentina are brothers. Then Italy, which is a monument of Columbus arriving to America. And what did the US send? A statue of George Washington. I knew I was gonna be able to say that line with a straight face. I literally just sent them a statue of how based we are. Oh, it's your Independence Day? Here's the guy that helped with our independence like 50 years before yours. Well, you know, yours is cool too, I guess, you know. What were we thinking? Apparently this type of behavior has just been going on in the US for a long time because, let me remind you, that was in 1910. We were out here dabbing on people back 100 years ago. Personally, Argentina, I wouldn't take that level of disrespect. Imagine if we sent one to the Brits in 2032 for their bicentennial of becoming a democracy. Don't be putting this out in the universe, it'll happen. Yes, all the flags of Europe. Wait a second. Kazakhstan be like, you know, I'm something of a European myself. I've been noticing this a lot lately in like maps of Europe. Technically speaking, sometimes they will include a pretty big chunk of Kazakhstan. Sometimes they'll even go as far as adding data for a European map to Kazakhstan as well. I feel like this is gonna be the next debate. Like, is Australia actually an island and should Quebec be included in Latin America? Is Kazakhstan technically European? I mean, there are some sources out there technically including Kazakhstan as a part of this continent in the same way they have Turkey a part of the continent. Technically speaking, the Ural Mountains is what divides Europe from Asia. I think this could be a little debatable. Could Kazakhstan apply to join the EU? Average London fan versus average countryside enjoyer. I am so glad this is being brought up. Unfortunately, I only visited London in my trip to the UK, and yeah, it was okay. I definitely have to go back though to see the countryside. I figured it'd be a whole lot better. If England did video games about plumbers. Ooh, Super Mark Brothers? Why does this look so creepy? Clearly this is one of those new horror games, isn't it? They're getting so good out here. It's a me, isn't it? That's his line. He has to say isn't it every 2 seconds. Learning the names of every oceanic island. Learning the names of every Caribbean island. Learning the names of every Greek island. Talk about top 5 most impossible challenges. I just looked up some of the major Greek islands myself not that long ago, and I was surprised to find out I know like 3 of these. I still need to learn like 5,000 more. I mean, that's if I wanted to be extreme with my definition of what an island is. Even just learning the 200 habited islands that Greece controls would still be almost impossible. Impossible because I don't know how to pronounce anything in Greek. American city names: Chicago, New York, Austin, DC versus Romania city names. This one which stands for German rock. This one which is the big bathroom. I wish I was kidding. Long Moldavian field. Something about Wednesday. And then finally, Hey Nut, I guess. Apparently. Who knew vampires were so good at city names? Guess it's pretty easy when you've been alive for 1,000 years. Moldova condemns Russian strikes after missile debris lands in territory. Parts of a Russian missile intercepted by Ukrainian air defense landed in Moldavian border village on Monday. If any incursion on glorious Moldavian territory occurs again, I will declare war on you and reduce Moscow to rubble. Yes, of course. Please accept my most sincere apology. I would not be so foolish to encroach on glorious Moldavian territory. Putin is about to accidentally awaken the real sleeping giant of Europe. Once they get involved, there will be no stopping them. They by themselves are at least 10 times stronger than NATO. Ways you made your job more interesting. I'll start. Be me, 16 at the time, 2019. Working at Hardee's, really boring day. Decide to start speaking in an almost comedic Scottish accent. Practice for like a week, do really well. Come into work, clock in, don't say a word. Customers start rolling in and start greeting. Oi, laddie. I can't do a Scottish accent. Welcome to Hardee's. What's your order? Other employees loved it. We put out a tip jar, gets filled in 4 hours. Suddenly we all start speaking in bad accents. New guy gets hired. We all act like we've always been like this. Still work there to this day. Least Chad Scottishman, able to just fill up a tip jar by speaking. I just want to know what's going to happen when an actual Scot shows up to your work. If you're lucky, you'll see the kilt beforehand. Northern Europeans, I apologize profusely for my non-native English. I do hope my impoverished vocabulary won't hinder or devalue our conversation. Meanwhile, Southern Europeans, hey, speak English very good. I don't like to make fun of anyone that speaks English poorly because I only can speak English. If you only can speak one language, you can't make fun of the other people that are speaking 2, 3, 4. I think it's because don't Northern Europeans get taught English from a very young age? Like they get taught both languages. Going to Hungary expecting everything to be cheaper, finding out everything is actually 3 times more expensive. Wait, are you saying the beautiful Hungarian forint is actually the strongest currency in the world? I tried to warn everybody. Put your entire life savings in it. I mean, I know it's not been looking too fantastic as of the last month, but just give it some time. It's gonna eventually catch up. Only 400 Hungarian forint for every $1 US. It's a pretty good conversion rate, yeah? When people mention Germany's invasion of Czechoslovakia, Poland and Hungary's just staying absolutely still. This explains why they are always completely silent whenever this topic comes up. I'm assuming we might be referring to some of the territorial exchanges that happened here. So a little bit here and there, and nothing too crazy. MFers be like, I support a Neo-Aztec empire, even though they are from Los Angeles. 50% of their ancestry is from a nation the Aztecs conquered, the other 50% being Spanish. Third generation and doesn't even speak Spanish or the Aztec language. We all can revive the Aztec Empire if we believe hard enough. We just have to manifest it. Let's bring back the sacrifices. Europe! Wow! We love European culture and despise this country and want to go to Europe. I'm assuming the country they despise is the US themselves, right? No, stupid wannabes! Go back to your horrible country! Meanwhile, in America, the US is an amazing country with great culture. I wish I lived here, says Japan and Korea. Cool, bro. You are welcome anytime. But you did use Japan and South Korea for this American example. Those are kind of our senpais right now, or whatever the equivalent is for Korean. Is this the word? So there is a senpai in Korean? Or oppa? I think maybe that. I don't know. Alaskan authorities when they have to investigate a missing indigenous woman. Taking a page out of the old Canadian book, I see. Maybe that US state should have just gone to Canada. Average, eek, a deer versus average, a moose in my backyard. Splendid. I've gone all around the Alaska spectrum today. I guess the good and the bad. People using the metric system? Yes, very simple, centimeter, meter, kilometer. But you'll never know what 5 tomatoes means. It's a secret thing we keep from the metric countries. I remember when I weighed 5 tomatoes. The British, when a random oil rig wants to become a sovereign nation, this is exactly how you trigger their PTSD. Unlike the US, they don't have Vietnam flashbacks. The UK has Sealand flashbacks. Germany just goes completely around the Maginot Line into France. Meanwhile, France, excuse-moi, Katie, bad word. I feel like it's been ages since I've reviewed a Maginot Line meme. These things were everywhere back like 2 years ago. Are they gonna make a comeback? Senpai of the pool, what is your wisdom? During WW3, the army would be so busy, we should raid Area 51 that time. The issue is, if WW3 is actually occurring, they're probably using all the alien technologies, and maybe even the aliens themselves out of Area 51. They're gonna bust out with all the secret weapons, so that place is just gonna be empty. It's gonna be nothing to raid. I think obesity is a real problem for the future of the US. Agreed, the federal government should give tax breaks for those who can demonstrate higher levels of physical fitness. You're joking, right? No. I also think that it should be weighted, wait, pardon the pun. If you start at a higher percentage of body fat and you lose more, then you should get more off your taxes. So what I'm gonna do whenever they do enact this is become extremely obese. Get up to like 500 pounds, and then the moment they start this up, try to slim all the way back down. I'm pretty much gonna try to get a whole year without any taxes. It belongs in a museum, says Indiana Jones. In its country of origin, right? In its country of origin, right? Oh, Andy here has a country in mind, all right. I mean, technically 25% of the land surface was under the British Empire at one point. So in a way, yeah, country of origin, kind of. Wait, was Indiana Jones actually putting the things in the British Museum? Top 5 reasons why Bulgaria is better than Serbia. Poorest village in Bulgaria versus Belgrade Central Square. Number 4, Bulgaria lion stronger than animal, Serbia eagle something. Okay, we have to skip this. Number 2, Bulgaria, ancient civilization. Very true. Serbia, created in 2006. Number 1, Bulgaria has 6 Kosovos. Serbia has 0 Kosovo. Thanks for watching. Very informative. Can't argue with that logic. Out Romania's Romania by stealing the Romanian flag. Literally named Chad, refuses to elaborate, then just leaves. How is Chad becoming a better Romania than Romania? I didn't think this was possible. It's time for you to look inward and begin asking yourself the big questions. Are firebenders Serbs or Turks because they committed crimes against the airbenders? Why not both? Let's just make it both. Since Serbia is a landlocked country though, I don't think they can be it. You kind of need to have at least a navy. Haha, Dutch people are so weird. You sound silly, wear wooden shoes and smoke things every day. I can't believe you still have a monarchy. You guys are so underdeveloped. Haha, yeah, I guess that is pretty funny. Hello, fellow Europeans. I was just talking with that American guy. Did you remind him to not mistake his primary school for... Okay, we already know where that one's going. No, that's heckin' offensive. Imagining Americans just doing the doggo language all the time is pretty hilarious, and I think kind of accurate. I've noticed that too, though. I feel like the Dutch don't take anything personally. Most innovative, decorative Russian city versus Western public toilet. It's got like a mini cathedral inside of it and everything. These toilets out here are pretty fancy, I can confirm. It's not like the gas station toilets we have in the US. The Japanese embassy in Paris has a 24-hour hotline for Japanese visitors who can develop debilitating psychological problems because the city is not as nice as they imagine it to be. And I've actually been hearing this from a lot of other people. It's not just Japanese people. There is something called, there's some sort of disorder, Paris delusion, I don't know what it's called. I guess that does happen to some when they finally go to this city. I mean, I thought it was fine. Enough of our imperialism in the past. Let's talk about our imperialism of the future. I've seen this before, but not with this image. What does the EU have planned? And big thanks to my patrons.
aPhatNarwhal.
Presented by Robert
My wife
E.
hates this
Sebi,
part.
if you hear this, I love you,
Drew's
Daddy.
Argentinian grandpa.
$20 is
Yarna
allowed.
Wild
Bring
Fang.
back
Chris
Polandball.
3773.
DannyThyGamer.
GoodOldRyah.
istoledrewspetdog.
Pet
Jakov.
Phresh Animations.
The Polish-Lithuanian
Veiotic.
Commonwealth.
Why am I
LuxembourgLover.
doing
The
this?
Mexicans.
And
ZaneyBoi.